I'm so over the cat hair. And I know you get it. If you have a cat, you know the struggle. My wardrobe is basically 90% hair resistant colors. I've got sticker rollers, rubber brushes, plus 4 or 5 different grooming comps just for the cats. So when the team and PawSwing reached out and asked if I wanted to try their automatic cat grooming box, saving I would never have to manually brush my cats again, my first thought was, yeah, right. But then I thought, might as well try it. Sure, I was skeptical, but I have to see if this thing could actually work. The moment I opened the box, all my cats swarm in. I mean, it's a box. Of course they did. Before I even started assembling, 2 of them were already lying on the panels like, thanks human, you got us a new bed. PawSwing told me that the Neo version was redesigned to be easier to set up compared to their first model. I've never used the original one, so I cannot compare. But they weren't lying. It's just a few large parts that snap together. Follow the guide, I have the whole thing built in under 5 minutes. And here's my mindset. If this thing really works, it shouldn't need me to convince my cats to use it. So once it was built, I just stuck it in the corner, walk away, and let the cats decide. So I set up a camera in the corner, and honestly, I wasn't expecting much. But when I checked the footage later that day, I was shocked. It wasn't a slow burn. On the very first day, they were all over it. I saw multiple cats not just go inside, but go in and out over and over again. One of them immediately claimed the roof as the new best snapping spot in the house. And my favorite part, they were using these little peekaboo holes on the side to playful swat at each other. Now, if you ever spend good money on a beautiful plush cat bed, only to watch your cat sleep in the cardboard box it came in, you get how huge this is. They will ignore everything you buy unless they actually like it. And that's when I started to think, okay, maybe this wasn't just another gimmick after all, but a cat liking a box is one thing. The real question was, does it actually fix the shedding problem? To find out, I decided to run a proper 2-week test. The user guide for the Neo suggests a gradual adaptation process, which made a lot of sense. The grooming entry is adjustable. So for the first few days, I let it on its widest possible setting. Unsurprisingly, my cats love it. It was basically a fun new channel they could explore. But here's the key. The instructions are clear that to get the best grooming results, you eventually need to use the smallest setting that fits your cat. That's when the bionic comps made the most effective contact. So every couple of days, I narrowed the entry just a little bit. I was half expecting them to get suspicious, but they kept going in just as eagerly. The slow, gradual change means they barely notice, proving the adaptation process really works. To take it a step further, I also placed their main food bowl deep inside the Neo. My logic was simple. Even though they were already comfortable with the smaller entry, this would give them even more reasons to go in and out throughout the day. It turns every meal into an automatic grooming session, which is a genius way to maximize the results without any extra effort. This whole process worked perfectly. Even my shyest cats were confidently walking in and out. Okay, so they were clearly using it. They were eating in it, playing, and treating it like their new favorite hangout spot. But for the first few days, I was still skeptical. Were they actually getting groomed, or was this just a new toy effect? Honestly, just by looking, I wasn't convinced it was doing much. My real benchmark was always going to be Shinchi. He's my heaviest shedder and absolutely despises being brushed. If this box could make even a small dent in the fur he leaves everywhere without a stressful fight, I would consider it a win. So after the first 4 weeks, I decided it was time to check the results. I honestly keep my expectations low. I opened the first collection box and there was a decent amount of fur. And I opened the second and the third. By the time I had emptied all 6, I was looking at this. This is just 1 week's worth of fur. I can tell from the texture and color that most of it is Shinchi's long hair. That's more fur than I usually manage to get off him in a whole month of those stressful, claw-filled brushing sessions. And the PawSwing Neo did it all, while he was just happily eating dinner. I have to say the result was so shocking, it felt like a magic trick, but it wasn't. And it wasn't just about the food either. My cats had over 10 other bowls they could eat from. So it left me with one giant question. How did PawSwing design a box that convinced my cats to do something they have hated their entire lives? Now for the big question, why does this actually work? So PawSwing's cozy shape is already something cats are programmed to love and explore. But the real secret, the reason even cats who hate being brushed will use this, is the science behind this comp. Back in 2018, researchers at Georgia Tech take a close look at cat tongues under a microscope, and what they found was pretty wild. Every cat, from a tiny tabby to a lion, has this tiny hook-shaped spines called papilla all over their tongue. They are basically built to separate the fur and spread saliva deep down to the skin, helping with cleaning and cooling. And here's the cool part. This design has worked so well, it hasn't really changed in over 11 million years of evolution. PawSwing's car modules are engineered to mimic that exact shape and design. Think about it, a normal brush is a foreign object to a cat. It has long, stiff bristles that can snag and pull on that fur in a way that feels unnatural. But when the cat interacts with the PawSwing, the sensation is instantly familiar. It mimics the feeling of being groomed by their mother as a kitten, a feeling of comfort and care, not a chore. It taps into a deep, positive instinct, which is why they don't just tolerate it, they actively seek it out. But you might be wondering, does it just skim the surface or does it get a deep fur? The science is pretty clear. A cat's tongue is built for deep grooming. Their fur has two layers, the outer coat that protects them and a soft undercoat where most of the shedding happens. When the cat grooms, its tongue actually presses down first, flattening the fur. Then those tiny hook-shaped spines reach through the top layer to calm the undercoat all the way down to the roots. Without those two-step motion, they will be only cleaning the surface. The PawSwing copies that exact motion. So instead of just brushing the top, it actually reaches down to where the shedding starts. And probably the coolest part for me, especially as a worried cat parent, is the safety. I was relieved to find out there are no plugs, batteries, or motors at all. The best way I can describe how it works is to think of one of those push-pump salad spinners. You know how you push down the handle and the basket inside starts to spin? It's almost the exact same principle, just powered by your cats. There's a kinetic plate on the floor inside. When your cat steps on it, their own weight is like your hand pushes the pump. It drives the grooming ring to rotate around them. It's a Brian purely magnetical system. The ring only moves when they move. So the instant they stop, it stops. That means there's zero risk of anything getting caught or pinched. I got 9 cats, so let's be realistic. My home will never be 100% fur-free. But after 2 weeks, the difference was obvious. When I packed them, way fewer loose hairs came off. When I picked them up, my clothes didn't instantly turn into fur jackets. Their coats looked smoother, shinier, just healthier overall. And even hairball instance drops noticeably. All the time and energy I used to spend vacuuming obsessively or fighting them with a brush could now be spent on just enjoying their company. It's less about the chores of cat ownership and more about the simple connection. When PawSwing first reached out, I was fully prepared to prove this thing didn't work. But after 2 weeks of testing and literally collecting handfuls of fur from that little box, I have to admit I was wrong. It works. The cats love it, it's low maintenance, and it generally helps with shedding. So yeah, color me convicted. So that's my full PawSwing Neo experience. What started as a skeptical review turned into 2 weeks of surprising proof. If you are dealing with heavy shedding or just want a smarter way to keep your cats comfortable, this might be worth a spin. Set it up, walk away, and see what your cats decide. Because if my 9 strong personalities with 9 different opinions all end up loving it, yours just might too. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.